always remember that my father told me that whatever you do in life, always be able to have the ability to want to tell your children why you did it. So don't just do stuff just because somebody else did it. You know, have a reason and a purpose. We were concerned it took us almost 11 years to get ownership of some property to begin a process. And so now that we're on a roll, the city of Greenville is very happy, and I'm excited as the council member representing this area that there are things that's being done for longevity, that people are now staking a claim and investing in this community. I love the porches, because you know that most people who are 62 years and older, they want to have a porch so they can see what's going on. And when I saw the porches, I said, hello, somebody. The elderly people were sitting on the porch watching you when you came to school and when you went home. The process is still the same. A community will grow when the people pay attention and take care of one another. So what you have here is not just 18 units. What you have here is a vision of hope.
One of the great things about Lillian, and I've been on city council a long time with Lillian Brock Flemming, is that she has immediate empathy with whoever is appearing before the city or has an issue with the city. Because at one time, way long ago, she was that other person. She was the person on the outside, she felt, trying to get the attention of City Hall. And so she's never lost that touch. She always remembers, you know, that we're public servants.
She just has a strong desire to bring the community together, and thankfully that's an attribute that's as relevant or even maybe more relevant today than it was 40 years ago.
She's been through 4 decades on council. That's 4 decades of Greenville changing. And as Greenville has changed, she has been true to her leadership style, but she has remained relevant because she's smart.
She has a compassionate heart for people with problems, and she has a keen mind to come up with solutions for these problems.
She's a visionary herself, and she never meets a stranger. And so that's 40 years of relationships.
We want to present these to you as honorary citizens because you have made Greenville very proud. But you brought economic development and family entertainment, which is wonderful. And so you have given us something that will be historical and that people will always know that Greenville, South Carolina exists. And so we thank you and we applaud you, and we want to give you a Greenville welcome. This is exciting. This is Mr. James Lampkin. He is 100 years old, the oldest resident of District 2 for Greenville City Council, and he is going to receive our very first recycling can.
Lillian's always been a good, positive voice on the big projects that the city's known for, whether it's a Peace Center, baseball in Greenville, and make no mistake about it, and you can hear it from me, that we would not have a downtown baseball stadium without Lillian Brock Flemming.
Fundamentally, without Lillian and her advocacy for the West End and what this ballpark represents, Fluor Field does not exist today. So, I mean, she was just instrumental to its very beginning, and she had a very strong vision as to what this ballpark meant to the community and what it meant to the city.
At the crucial moments in time, I mean, she was there to be the great defender and supporter of moving the stadium downtown. Without any question, she was the pivotal person on that.
When we were at the groundbreaking for what is today Fluor Field, and she had a shovel in her hand, and I'd never done this before, and she put the shovel in and she said, "This is much more than about baseball." And I wasn't totally sure what she meant at the time, but what she really meant was the ballpark was about baseball, but it was also about economic development, it was about jobs, it was about bringing the community together, and really everything that Lillian stands for, and hopefully the Drive has come to stand for in this community over time.
The Hampton Avenue Bridge was one of the first issues that I heard about that concerned Lillian for her side of town in her district. And so it was important for the connectivity of Southern Side and the people and those who walked and biked and didn't have public transportation. She was a galvanizer for the community. We had a march, and that's something she does well from a grassroots perspective, bringing everybody together. And we marched 1.5 miles to show the critical need for this bridge, and she was right there in the heart of it. But we were able to do it, and she was just so instrumental in helping bridge the gap, so to speak.
This is a good-looking thing. Woo-wee! Irrespective of what's going on, the city of Greenville, the council members have repeatedly, over and over again, voted on behalf of making sure that people have a safe place to sleep and to live and to do every day. I thank you for that.
With Lillian's leadership, the city took early steps in the area of affordable housing. And she talked a lot at that time about home ownership, the importance of home ownership in terms of the stability it brings to a neighborhood. And so she played a huge role in really is now the emphasis of the city in neighborhoods, in listening. I think one time she said at a meeting, you shouldn't have to shout to be heard at City Hall.
We're gonna put a little dirt in the ground, but it's just a symbolic gesture of a lifetime of service that this particular house will do for this particular community.
She has that ability to cut to the heart of an issue and speak truth to power. And you need that type of individual. You need her history, as we sometimes in government revisit issue after issue. I think it was Lillian who shared with me, she said, Chandra, every 10 years you talk about the same thing. You revisit an issue, and now I'm beginning to live that out in my service. And so, you need someone who is there to kind of show you the way sometimes, and let you know that the sky is not falling. And to say, folks, we can do this. She says that all the time. Folks, we can do this.
Our day-to-day interaction with residents in the city and making sure people feel like the city government is on their side, that we have everyone's back. She's a huge part of that. I think no one ever questions her integrity. No one ever questions the fact that she's on their side.
Lillian has always been someone with a big heart, a good brain, and she can represent not only her district well, but the city of Greenville very well, and she has done that beautifully.
Greenville needs more Lillian Brock Flemmings.